You're not like those other ones, are you?
Marvel's Hit Monkey, a blood-soaked 10-part comedy on Hulu, draws from some truly obscure corners of the comics and builds an entire series around a minor Deadpool character. The result, while often uneven, is ultimately fun, and its surprising emotional highs eventually outweigh its major weaknesses.
You're gonna have to kill some evil people that totally deserve to die. 'Cause it's your destiny.
There isn't much comic book material on which to draw for Hit Monkey, so beyond the broadest of strokes, the show is left with significant wiggle room to build its own story. The basics are still in place. A mysterious human assassin is adopted by a tribe of Japanese snow monkeys, all but one of whom are slaughtered by the assassin's enemies. The surviving primate, having trained with the assassin in the art of stealthful murder, embarks on a revenge mission, where he's joined by the assassin's ghost. It's both deceptively simple and rather silly, though the show's first major change is to give the assassin a name, Bryce, a definitive background, American, and a personality, Jason Sudeikis channeling Archer. From there on out, Bryce and Hit Monkey kill their way up the totem pole of a Tokyo political conspiracy, one colorful villain at a time, in the hopes of tracking down those responsible for murdering Bryce and Hit Monkey's family. Like Hit Monkey's comic origin, the first 20-minute episode finds the inherent humor in playing the premise straight, a ridiculous sincerity to which the show eventually returns in later entries. However, in the meantime, it has more than a little trouble finding its footing. The character's deadpan origin and his Deadpool cameo were two different stories with wildly different tones, but the show often tries to smush these two approaches together. Bryce, like his comic counterpart, functions occasionally as Hit Monkey's conscience, as the primate assassin wrestles with the consequences of violence. At the same time, Bryce is conscripted as the show's Deadpool stand-in, making pop culture reference after pop culture reference to no one in particular. His ceaseless, sarcastic commentary ends up annoyingly one note, until the show finally digs into his backstory and affords him more meaningful and character-centric quips in the process. Once the farcical elements are compartmentalized, the show is able to let loose with its wackier side. Episode 5, for instance, is a John Wick-inspired romp where numerous assassins are sent Hit Monkey's way. On the other side of the equation, the series is then able to slow down in later episodes and give its more emotional side the care that it deserves. The show's animation, meanwhile, is quite remarkable, even when it isn't slipping into a manga-inspired visual mode. Its detailed, hand-drawn character designs are bolstered by a 3D rendered world. The environment often tells its own story. However, the Tokyo of it all exists in a strange in-between place, thanks to its malformed supporting roster. While the voice cast, including George Takei and Olivia Munn, are all serviceable, their characters rarely feel as if they're more than one of the show's many background designs. The one supporting player who feels fully fleshed out is Maki Matsumoto, aka expert markswoman Lady Bullseye, who injects some much-needed dramatic tension. As far as tongue-in-cheek premises are concerned, Marvel's Hit Monkey does an adequate job of stretching out its central joke over a 4-hour season, even if its laugh-out-loud moments are limited to once or twice per episode. However, its biggest surprise is that behind Hit Monkey's enormous shades and Bryce's non-stop pop culture quips lie real characters, and a moving story about cycles of violence that feels right at home amidst comedically stylized bloodshed, even if it takes frustratingly long for the story to emerge.
It's time we put an end to this monkey business.
He's coming for me.
A first season that takes a while to overcome its villain of the week structure, Marvel's Hit Monkey turns obscure comic oddities into fun and meaningful leads. With anime and manga-inspired visuals and a Tokyo setting that has more to say with its background than with its supporting characters, the series ultimately works, even if it stumbles along the way. For more animated series, check out our reviews of Animaniacs Season 2 and Star Trek Prodigy. And for everything else, stick with IGN.